Hello everyone. I think it is quite weird to see that today we are here what in a format completely different from normal. Something that even more take into consideration how I always stream and end up being quite the anomaly, but I believe what I have to say can be summed up in just 20 minutes or so, nothing too long, basically. But yeah, um, I hope everyone is fine as always. It is, even if it is in this way, it is a pleasure to be here still. So yeah, I was, I was lately thinking, I have been having this certain feeling, this notion, this overarching sensation that always looms instead of me. I, I have realized yet that there are a lot of things in life that I do enjoy. At this point, I can say that one of those, or one of the things that I like the most, probably, is being here and doing all of this. But I have realized something, and that is, I am probably being honest here by my own incapacity of managing myself. I'm being quite destroyed by everything, days have passed and hours have become weeks, and everything has become quite blurry. Life going seems to be going faster and faster, and being honest here, I do not think that much about anything of this sort until I end up realizing that in front of me I have something so gigantic and so hard to deal with that continuing seems like one of those options that you might not want to truly take. But it is still quite a nice, quite a nice idea to try your best and try to survive days, the, the nights. Certainly, those nights, try to survive everything and try to come out on the other side and say that you made it alive, but I think it has become quite obvious that it is necessary to manage oneself properly. And I don't think I am an example for anything on one hand, but on the other, I have realized that certainly, if in any degree I want to be taken seriously, if what I say tries to be something minimally useful for others, and if any of my ideas desire to be impactful on anybody, I think it is quite necessary for everyone to be capable of seeing me and realizing that I stick to what I talk about and not to see that I am, to, to say it bluntly, killing myself with my habits and with my addictions and whatever. I I am certainly quite destroyed by all of that because it is the responsibility that I wanted to ignore the most. The one that shows to me where is it that we might go to next and what things is it that we need to do to be capable of getting into these places of desire in which I find myself being happy. But patience has become also quite a useful idea for all of this. I have started to wait some more and to not be so angry at everything that happens and to take it with a lot more relaxation, certainly. It it doesn't really need to be something completely, yeah, completely crazy every single day. Because even more, with responsibilities, you realize that you certainly don't want something out of the ordinary every single day. You enjoy having everything structured and having everything on its place with some tiny variations, some minimal spices for life, but it is, I know that saying it is bad, but it is too much sometimes, and it feels quite complex to keep doing whatever, certainly. And I believe in the nature itself of continuing. It is necessary for anyone to realize that if we aim towards anything of this sort, we have to take action. And I guess, on my case, I am in, in this particular moment talking about ritual. Also, certainly trying to think and trying to see myself in what I talk about and trying to see how much of a problem is it that I have related to the things that are apparent to me and those that also I can't even mention because they are not on my mind right now. I I do realize that I am tainting a narration by my subjective perception of the world, but at the very same time that is unavoidable. So I know that what we are doing is not completely new, let's say, in that sense. And I still see how, or want to believe at the very least, how everything that we make here might be in any way nice, and how anything that we try to consciously create could be better than what we even expected. But I realize that the main problem is into all of what I have been talking about, you can't really find anything like peace to continue if you're not even properly taking care of yourself. And I guess in that case, it goes back to what I was saying. You can't even be capable enough of showing others how nice it is to abide by the ideas that you are giving them if you yourself are on the brink of dying, you know. And I have had a talk with a friend the other day, which I heard him tell me something that reminds me of this one idea because uh, he was talking with me, and I was once again confronted with a certain reality of, you know, some people have problems, some people have situations that they want to completely avoid, and they don't even want to think about them. Not because they are avoiding the, in a more psychological term, because they are avoiding the trauma or they are avoiding those memories because they trigger the trauma. No, 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 no. Because they realize that all of that is bad, and all of what can be extracted from trying to even have those type of experiences is negative for them at the very least. And he shows me once again that certainly being here is not so easy because there are a lot of things that we ignore that we know are bad, you know. And once again, it it is quite painful because once you hear someone like him talking about these situations, and once you have the opportunity of enjoying a conversation with somebody who truly has an interest over showing you yourself what these ideas are about, you discover that certainly it feels like sometimes we fail on the process of realizing how good we can be in terms of life in general if we did our minimal to try and avoid those damaging things in our life. And the worst thing is also that talking with someone like him, you can notice how much pain there is because the pain itself contained is not out of nowhere or to sympathize with you. It is rather because you can notice that, man, we have a lot of things that are interesting. We have a million of projects to try and realize this life. It doesn't really matter sometimes if we fail for a tiny bit, or if we have this one addiction, or if we feel this certain thing towards someone. What is necessary is always to keep going. The problem is, you see how you are avoiding yourself and how you are neglecting what you need so much. And in those words, it is that I found my own reflection, certainly, because it is at the very same time something that we probably have talked about here already at some point or another. That you don't have the obligation of suffering, and that you don't even have the obligation of trying to survive the worst of the pains. If it is in your hands the capacity to remove yourself from that particular situation, and it is there that I was once again reminded of my own self because it was weird. He wasn't even talking about me. I I admit that it is quite complex to subdue your ego in terms of wow, what they are talking about can also apply to me. I might have missed one or two concepts from this whole discussion with him about somebody that he had an interest on, certainly. But it is still a completely useful moment what we shared there when he was talking about this other person and I was reflecting back on my own nature. And I am, as I said, I think I am reminded of not everything is so bad and not everything is so negative. And that things, even if we have problems, we can keep going. I I don't know. I am still trying to hold up something that can be fully put into words. I am trying to dispel the final idea, a project that can be made bigger than me, because certainly I am but a mere human in the end, something that is momentary and something that will disappear whenever we expect it the less. And I do realize that it is necessary for us, or at the very least for me, to try and give some minimal tools to anybody else. So I am trying to go for something like that. And even if it sounds completely childish to repeat what I just said, the idea of there are things that are worth it, and there is the possibility of making days better, and there are moments that you should always try to look forward to. You know, even if all of that sounds like the most corny stuff that you will hear in a long time, or the most bland stuff that you can hear, I I realize that it is true. And I believe it is in the love of those words, and it is in the interiorization of what is being talked about that you get to realize how completely effective they are for your own self, I don't I don't think that if my friend ever tried to give me something of this sort, have this type of talk with me, I will have reminded I will have remembered, sorry, all of these things. And I don't know, I hope I just hope to keep going basically. That's that's everything that matters, right? To be capable of keep going a little bit more. There are stuffs there are a million of reasons, a plethora of reasons to keep going. But sometimes it is the biggest battle is against yourself. And you also know yourself well enough so that you can destroy every single argument that you make. So it gets quite hard to keep going. But we will see how it goes. This is in its own way my method of fighting back, That's the very same thing that we're talking about. But yeah, I don't know. If it isn't clear enough, I hope you understand that there is something valuable there. That there is something good that you can try to aim for. And that you can probably achieve more than what you can even expect right now. But it is necessary to commit. And it is necessary to feel desire towards what you are aiming for. Don't don't have a bad time. Don't for the love of God. Don't try to make it harder on yourself than what it already is. It won't be worth it. Ever. But well,